Hi, well, we're coming to the end of the course. This is the answers for the net present value. And so let's hop into it. So for number one, if there's no time impact, you're going to get the new product in time to continue your sales activities and all of this. It's not going to affect the discount rate. The discount rate gets affected when risk goes up and down. Here it's a little blip, and it's just not affecting risk over the whole period. It may affect it for a week or two, but that's not the whole period we're talking about, and there's plenty of time for everything to even out, so no impact. Nagging fears, no impact. You need some hard data. It's not just, oh, I've got an uneasy feeling, unless, again, you have some reason for that uneasy feeling, that fear of being a target for sabotage or whatever. But just because it's a crazy world out there is not enough unless all your businesses in your area have been sabotaged, or every business making drone delivery systems is getting sabotaged, or some rational basis for that nagging fear. Looking to number three, the chip shortages question with the regulation, which is driving the cost of doing things up. What's the impact on the gross profit? Your gross profit's going to go down. It will be lower because although the revenues remain the same, the expenses have gone up, so gross profit goes down. Now, assuming you can pass the price increase along to customers, because the demand is very elastic, means it's not so affected by price, that means that they are more likely to continue. People are going to just keep on buying, even if you do raise the cost to cover the increased cost of the sensor unit. And so the discount rate's not affected as long as there's no more increased risk on the buying side. Now we turn to question number 5, which is what happens to the internal rate of return when the discount rate goes up? Well, nothing. They're calculated differently. The internal rate of return doesn't depend upon the actual discount rate at any moment. It's just that what is the discount rate when the NPV equals 0. So, different question. Number 6, which deals with the health issue. The CEO quits, you can't replace them for a number of years. You're like, oh my God, anybody I can get is not as good. Yeah, that's higher firm-specific risk. Yeah, discount rate's going up. Too bad, so it goes. Bad luck happens sometimes. Now, the next one says, how do you figure out a discount rate? And so it describes a situation, new product, technology never marketed before, so on and so forth. And it says, is the discount rate in the spreadsheet seem reasonable given the stage that you're at, this design and development stage, based upon the information that we've given you in the backgrounder and in the whiteboard material. And if you read the whiteboard material, in there is a chart of typical discount rates used by venture capitalists. And you can look at that chart and say, oh, yeah, well, okay, this is sort of like what I'm doing. Yeah, that's sort of like I'm doing. And yeah, that looks reasonable. So the answer is A. On number 9, or rather number 8, so that was number 7 was A. Number 8, the answer is also A. Now, in this situation, you're being asked to play around with the internal rate of return to create a higher internal rate of return. And that you're being asked, all of the answers except for answer A involve something dishonest or a bit shady. Value engineering examines a part of the value chain and eliminates all activities that don't contribute to creating value for the customer, or looks at the design and says, is this design, everything in here creating value for the customers in the design? So doing value engineering on the design and the value chain may increase the internal rate of return because it will reduce the expenses. And so whatever when we set it to 0, it's still going to be higher. Number 9, the answer is, well, it's just too early to tell. You can't, first of all, this is a remote Pacific island. Island has a bad safety record, so it's not telling on the rest of the world what happens here. And finally, the question is asking about the impact about 10 years out. Well, think about it. People still get on airplanes and fly, even though the window on an airplane recently blew out and there was turbulence and some people got hurt in turbulence. So over time, people's memories of bad things begin to fade and they go back to other behavior, barring some other change. Or to the behavior they had before, rather, barring some other change. So, just too early to tell. Okay, turning to question number 10, we're talking about market saturation. It's pretty far out, periods 14 through 16. We define what that means, and the question is, should the spreadsheet be modified to reflect a different discount rate after market saturation? And really, if it was correctly done in the first place, it's not necessary. So you've gone out, you've projected the discount rate, you've projected it with sales. The fact that saturation is at the risk of sales, the fact that sales are declining, if you took that into account when you calculated the discount rate, you're okay. You don't have to change anything. If you didn't calculate it, that's different. But the assumption is the discount rates deal with risk and whether it's estimated reasonably. And correctly is better than reasonably, but it's very hard to know if an estimate is correct. The best typically we hope for is reasonable. On number 11, the question is, you're switching from titanium to a more advanced composite. Does the discount rate remain the same? No, it's it's more risky, so the answer is B. And finally, question 12 asks about your estimate here. You've got a net present value estimate of 12.8 million euros at the gate between design and development. And now you get some new competition, but this new competition is not selling to anybody at all. They're just using it internally. We know there's about maybe 100 customers out there. You're not going to get all of them. So this is one customer. We don't know how big the customer is yet, or small, which is a factor also. But it doesn't really look like it's going to affect demand for your solution. That said, you got to monitor the market and stay on top of what's going on. But you said you're going to do that. So yes, the estimate at present seems reasonable, but you're being upfront about the assumptions you're making and the conditions under which it is reasonable. As long as you do that, you're okay. Okay, that's the answers to the final self-test. Here's some tips for taking the final exam. Review everything that has been part of this course, all the material, all the links that we asked you to go to, the Whitebow site and that. And make sure you know the correct answers to the module tests. While those questions are going to be reused, others like them will be found. During the exam, read carefully, think before answering, but you only have 2 hours to answer these 24 questions. So you do have to move at a reasonably good clip. You got to average about 5 minutes per question to do this in. The questions that we're going to ask you are not going to require web searching, but they will. Everything you need to answer the question is going to be in that question. But they will assume that you have done all the reading and you understand key terms like new product development, NPD, NPV, net present value, IRR, internal rate of return, claims, what's a claim, and so on. The terms used in this course you're expected to understand. The exam is going to test, do you understand the fundamentals of new product development we've been teaching? These core concepts that you learn in the videos and what that means. In the WIPO videos, that is. We are not going to test on whether you know every gritty little detail about airborne drone package delivery systems or biofuel mini refineries. We're testing, do you know fundamentals of new product development? So good luck in the final exam. One other thing before we close. If you are interested in learning more about new product development, we at the Research and Innovation Foundation offer a course that qualifies you to take an exam to become a certified new product development professional. You also need some hands-on experience, but you do need to pass the exam and they'll give you a provisional status. If you're interested in taking this class, it takes place over 1 or 2 months. I think it's a 2-month class, a couple times a week. It's pretty intensive, but if you're interested, contact support, ask them to forward your interest in the course to me. The other thing is we run a program called Innovation Factory, which will start again in the spring, and there we teach how to be a successful entrepreneur and how to grow businesses if you're in a mid-sized company or a large or small company. And if you're interested in that, watch for the announcements for the Research and Innovation Foundation's Innovation Factory. Again, if you contact support and say, I'd like to get the announcement when it's posted, let us know and we'll tell you where to watch for it. Okay. Thank you very much, and I wish you good luck on the final exam. Don't forget to submit your answers in time, and we'll look forward to seeing you after the exam. Bye-bye.